Welcome back to the 1111 Synchronized Podcast. I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, and staying afloat. And please just join me by taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So yes, if you have any topic requests that you'd like to hear covered on this channel, or if you'd like to be a feature, please send those to my inbox at Agent K21 Podcast on Instagram. On Instagram and Twitter at Agent K21. You can find me on all the social media platforms. Hit me up. Let me know what you'd like to hear. Let me know if you want me to be a feature on your page or vice versa. All right. So, it's been a little while because it's been such energy going on in the past couple of days. Just so many things going on in the news and the media. And I've been trying to record. I've really been trying to record, and just... It hasn't been what I've wanted it to be. So moving forward, I just feel like there's so many things going on in the world, and it's worth noting that all emotions are valid, and how we're feeling, how we may or may not be feeling right now is accepted and valid. Because I feel like the entire world is being gaslit. I feel like right now there's just been such manipulation and gaslighting on a grand scale. And you may be feeling this as well. So I just want it to be clear and known that it is valid to feel these ways, because it's just this feeling of what's real, what's what anymore. And I think that there's so many distractions and so many things being revealed, and I just been perplexed by so many different things, and it disturbed my peace just a little bit. And I've just been thinking about that and thinking how I wanted to move forward, because the topics I wanted to talk about, I'm like, nah, not anymore. I'm good. So moving right along with that, there's a lot of new energy about to be pouring in as we have a new moon arriving on tomorrow, depending on where you're located. We have a new moon either arriving today or tomorrow. And I think that there's going to be a lot of things going on that are brewing below the surface. And one thing that I personally do when there's a new moon is I set my intentions. And so really want to focus on the law of attraction. I'm going to start a mini series of the law of attraction, but first we got to talk about what is the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction? Now I'm going to give my opinion of what I think the law of attraction is, and then I'll get into some scholarly articles. So my opinion of the law of attraction is what you are, your innate essence, your spirit, your core being of who you are is what you attract. And as you evolve, as you learn more, as you grow more, new knowledge, wisdom, etc. is revealed to you more and more. And I feel like, we're all made of energy, and there's a line, a spectrum, if you will, of emotions. And depending on where we are on that spectrum, some like to visualize it as a radio dial. You tune your radio channel to the radio receptor that you want to receive, right? You tune it to that frequency. So the example could be, if I want to listen to 88 point whatever, I'm going to turn my dial to 88 point whatever. And then that is going to attune me to receive the messages on that channel. And when it's time to go to somewhere else, 96 point something, I just tune it to that as well. And so that's kind of what the law of attraction is. It's based on wherever you are currently, however you are operating energetically, your vibrational pattern, that is what you're going to attract. Those are the experiences, the people, the places, the things, the thought process. All of it is going to align with where you are currently on that journey. And so, I think that the law of attraction is real. It exists. And the more mindful we are of it, the more consciously aware we are of it, the more we can use it to our benefit. I do feel, disclaimer, I do feel that there is a misconception or just some pitfalls that I can see with the law of attraction as a way to avoid or evade shadow work. Is I don't want to attract nothing bad, so I'm not going to do anything that makes me feel uncomfortable. And again, we have to understand and discern the difference between feelings and emotions. And I think it's also very wise to utilize everything, all encompassing, all the gifts that we have, our mind, our body, our feelings, using it all in tandem together to work towards guiding us on this life path. And I'm going to give a few examples of definitions of the law of attraction based on, other people's opinions. So this comes from Wikipedia. It says the law of attraction. In the New Thought philosophy, the law of attraction is the belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. Yeah, I'm going to stop right there. This is kind of what I'm referring to is this definition of the law of attraction. It may resonate with some people, may be useful. However, I feel that it is still a limited view of it and can create a lot of shame and apprehension behind the law of attraction. For example, I hear people in the spiritual community, they say things like, what were you thinking? Did you just think something bad? Did you attract this to us? Which creates a lot of guilt and blame and shame, which just is not good for anybody. It just continues to, perpetuate even more of that. And so believing that, I must have thought something, this is why this is happening. I think that puts a huge burden on our shoulders and can create a lot of feelings that may not even be accurate. I think the way that I perceive the law of attraction is another definition of the way I view it is a good tree produces good fruit, meaning who you are is going to attract more of the same. Like attracts like. And so does that mean situations out of your control are not going to happen? Doesn't necessarily mean that. I think it's all about how we choose to handle those situations. And so I feel like the law of attraction can sometimes be taken out of context. And I think that's also why I've been leery to use this modality or even phrasing, because I'm like, what? Like, so you mean to tell me don't think anything bad because something bad's going to happen? But wait, I was thinking something good and something bad still happened. So what's that? So I think that the way I've started to interpret it is just to be mindful of where you're operating at. And it's, I guess, to kind of flesh that out a little bit more is just to be not only mindful of what you're thinking, mindful of how you're perceiving, mindful of what you're speaking, mindful of what you're observing, the judgments, our perceptions, the way that we observe things, the way we interpret things, the way we make meaning of things, all of it encompassing into one, and really getting down to the bottom line of, okay, what do I want to see happen? I think a big part of, another part of the law of attraction is, whether we believe this or not, but our words have power. We do speak things into existence all the time. So personally, I choose to not speak things as though they were. I choose to speak things as though they could be. Instead of speaking things that are not, I speak what I actually want to see happen. And so I think that when it comes to the law of attraction, there can be this fear to not do any shadow work because we don't want to attract any shadow. But the thing is that gets lodged into our subconscious, and then we're still attracting it, unaware that we're attracting it, because we still have those receptors in us that are receiving it. So to me, it's more about illuminating what's actually going on. And, bad things happen to good people all the time. You see a lot of the events going on in the world, people getting fired from their jobs for speaking their opinions, and people being murdered in their sleep. Just so many things can happen to people who have good intentions, have good hearts, all of that. So to me, putting that burden on ourselves of, I must have done something, that is such a shame-inducing way of perceiving the law of attraction. Instead of realizing, no, the universe is expanding me. What is the lesson I can learn in this? Yes, perhaps I attracted this experience, but obviously I attracted it for a reason. What is the reason behind this? And kind of taking that power back instead of becoming the victim of powerlessness and blaming ourselves and being really hard on ourselves for those reasons. And so I think that really owning your own views on what the law of attraction means to you and really diving deeper on that will help cultivate an understanding of that. There was another example I want to give of the law of attraction. Some of you may be aware of Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks is the collective of Jerry and Esther Hicks and their spirit guide, Abraham Hicks. Now, I've watched, several YouTube videos with them speaking, and for some reason, seeing them, I definitely recommend them for people, for sure. Me personally, their YouTube's videos doesn't resonate as much with me. However, I've been currently reading Asking It Is Given, written by Abraham Hicks, and it's really been empowering me to read it. Very grateful for the recommendation on this because it's really been more my speed to actually read it and being able to ingest it and interpret it through my own counsel, if you will. So the law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe. According to chapter 6 of this book, it says, we call that process the law of attraction. The law of attraction says, that which is like unto itself is drawn. And that's kind of what I tend to think about. I tend to think of like attracting like. And so does that mean, that you're stuck and that there's no room for growth and just where you are is where you're going to be? Absolutely not. Change is constant. So you don't necessarily have to feel like, I'm just going to always attract these type of situations because I was inherited with these things, or I was cursed, or I was this, or I was that. No, our choices always change our trajectory and change our path. And so we can always vibrate higher or lower. Really depends on our choices. So just remembering that we have the power, everything we need is within us. And we can set the tone in the course of our life. And throughout this series of the law of attraction, I'm going to go through different ways of attracting. One being setting the intention, co-creating our reality. We create our own reality, surrendering and manifesting. All of those things that are attributes of the law of attraction or principles of the law of attraction. But before we even can start attracting things, we have to deal with what's blocking us from receiving these attractions in the first place. Because in order to operate fully out of the law of attraction, we have to have an awareness. Because we could attract something in our lives and not even be aware that we've attracted it, or not even see the excellence of the things that are right in front of us. We might overshadow or overlook the very thing that we've attracted, and continue to operate out of, the blinders we may have on. Or on the flip side, we could feel like we're attracting negative experiences in our lives and we're not sure why or how. And then we just continue to through positivity, but maybe still continue to fall short or feel like we're coming up short. And so really digging into those things of what's blocking the path of receiving this. Are we open? Are we allowing these things to flow into our lives? Are we attempting to control? Are we attempting to manipulate in any form or fashion? What are these things? So before we even dive into how to attract and what to attract, etc., we have to sit down with our personal selves and think, what do we even believe about the law of attraction? Do we even believe that's real? How do we personally define it? Not based on what other people say, but what is it to us? What words resonate to us? What meaning has the most resonance within us? And then what are some of our, where are some of our blockages at? And I think that those are the prerequisites before we even really dive into the law of attraction. Is what does the law of attraction mean to me personally? And have I found a school of thought that I actually rely on and can, deliberate with and actually evolve this more and integrate within myself? It's great what other people might say, but what actually works for you? And so some of the things that I feel the starting point is our belief system. What we believe is what we are going to attract. Do we believe we live in a world of lack, or do we believe we live in a world of abundance? And everything else is going to shape and bend towards those core beliefs. Do we believe good things are taken from us once we get them? Do we believe good things even exist? What are our beliefs? What are our core beliefs? Do we believe we are worthy of receiving, manifesting? Do we believe that that it is what it is, that things are just always going to be the same and, everything's crap? What are our core beliefs? What do we feel we are worthy of receiving? What do we feel about ourselves? That is going to show up in our atmosphere. So a few things that could be blocking our path would be resistance. Are we resisting ourselves? Are we resisting parts of us? Are we resisting our authenticity? Are we resisting our childhood? Are we resisting our shadow? What things are we either not acknowledging, not wanting to see clearly, or pushing so far away from us? What things do we project onto other people? What things do we lie to ourselves about, right? Do we have that ownership to take ownership of who we are? All of us, all of who we are, our light and shadow side, our light and darkness. What are our fears? What are our greatest fears? Fear in general can create such a block, because when we're operating out of fear, just like a frightened animal, we either attack or we run, and those things can push us further out of the vibrational element that we need to be in. Are we afraid of ourselves? Are we afraid of other people? Do we have trust issues? Are we afraid of abandonment or fear of rejection? The list is so long for the core beliefs that are connected to fear. Fear and shame, I think, are the lowest, rather, points of attraction that can block. If we have fear, shame, or anger, those are things that can really block us from receiving. But when we operate out of love and acceptance and, forgiveness, those type of things not only raise our vibration, but allow us to see things clearly and operate with a non-attachment, operate with a flow state more so. And then, like I mentioned before, what are our beliefs? Where are our limiting beliefs at? Do we believe anything is possible? Do we believe good things happen to a few good people, but not necessarily to ourselves? What are our beliefs? Really dig into that and feel yourself. Give yourself that permission to do the work without feeling like you're going to attract something bad to yourself, because Whether we are aware of it or not, we are always attracting or repressing or attracting or resisting things from ourselves constantly. And so talking about it is actually good. It's not going to make things worse, and I think that there can be this, we don't talk about it because that makes it real. Well, the thing about creating our own reality is we have to operate in reality. If we slip into denial, we are actually a victim of our reality. I don't even like using the word victim, but we are, our circumstance becomes, we're not even able to create our own reality if we're not in reality. We're able to create fantasy. We're able to create illusion. We're able to create an escape, but not actually reality. And so, this new moon coming up, for those who are thinking about intentions and what that means, just going to give a brief overview of it. I'm going to probably do an extended version on this, but just a brief thing, if you are interested in this, it's just, what is your intention for this new season, for the second half of this year? The year is not over, and there's a lot going on in the world. Absolutely. But our power is within us. It's not external. It's not what else is everyone doing or not doing. What are we doing? What are we choosing to focus our attention on? What are we doing at this time? And I actually want to read this because this is exactly how I was feeling for the past couple of days. So for those, I've mentioned this before, the app, The Pattern, they had a few, oh man, I think they just got rid of it. Oh snap, they got rid of it. Oh, all right. I guess I won't supposed to be reading that. They just posted though about the new moon. So I guess I'll, in the effort of the flow, we'll keep it going. But so this comes from The Pattern. You can download it from the App Store, Google Play, wherever device you have. So yes, fresh start, the new moon. These 3 days are extremely useful for envisioning how you would like the next month to go for you. During this challenging time globally, making this effort takes on even greater significance. This is the time to set your intentions. Imagine you are planting seeds, even if you must do so with limits in place. If you remain restricted in your movements or find it hard to plan for the future, this would be a powerful opportunity to take some time to yourself and be introspective. Ideally, you'll create clear and specific goals. Just the same, try to see this as less of a time for planning or predicting things and more of a time for reflecting and imagining. Ideally, any restrictions in your lifestyle won't prevent you from finding some sense of clarity and a better mindset. Your goals could even center around how you perceive and accept this time instead of how you can fight against it. Themes to consider when setting intentions include: do you enjoy your family and community and feel nourished in your life? Or do you tend to overgive and then feel unappreciated or even drained? Are you able to balance giving and receiving nourishment in your life? Recent global events may have altered the way you spend time with family, friends, and community. Now that things have changed, what kinds of interactions remain meaningful for you? And who is still important in your life? Prioritize the people in your life who most value your contribution and who naturally give back to you. Another possible area of attention is to improve the nurturing qualities of your home, especially if you've been isolated for the past several months. Can you end or transform one or more relationships where you give or overgive are not valued, or where there's no objective evidence that your help is doing any good? Perhaps you can add someone, in parentheses, a friend, child, student, or client, or something, in parentheses, cat, dog, horse, etc., to your life and find a way to provide nourishment in a healthy way that's valued. During this process, it's also crucial to face any fears from your past or the collective past that could be holding you back. If you can courageously and with brutal honesty confront these fears or any shadow behaviors, then your possibility of creating a major breakthrough for yourself is significantly heightened. Right now, it's important to be on guard against any urges to escape, detach, or be oblivious. If you check out and pretend that everything in yourself and the world is perfectly fine, you'll be wasting the profound opportunities available in this rare time frame. So that's perfect timing, isn't it? So yeah, this rare time frame is because this new moon is a double moon. I'm still looking into what that actually means, but it's a double moon, two new moons or something. And but yes, the fact that confirms, that app just confirms this is a great time to start setting intentions, with this new start, new clean slate, if you will. What do we want to continue? What do we want to cultivate? What kind of world do we want to live in? What things do we want to keep? What things do we need to discard? What do we plan to do? So a few things that I'm going to just state here for when setting intentions. How to set intention. One way is to meditate. Meditation, I did an entire episode on meditation if you'd like to hear more about that. Also, checking out breathwork episode may help get you into a meditative state. Meditation, in my opinion, is practicing awareness. It's practicing stillness, and it's cultivating peace. It's not necessarily the time to, ruminate over the past or to be overly concerned with the future. It's a time to realize that the only place is here and the only time is now, and to really sit into that and to focus solely on the present moment. And the mind's going to do what the mind does. It's going to think about stuff and gently saying, thank you, mind. Thank you for doing your job, and escorting it right back out and going back into focusing on your breath. So meditation can help just center you, align you, and, just that'll also help you observe what is your mind chatter? What do you think about when you're not thinking, or when there are no distractions? Can you be still with yourself? Can you befriend yourself? That kind of mindset. Another way to set intentions is to visualize, visualize what you want to see happen. Visualize the life as you would like it to be. Visualize the things that you want to see transpire. Visualize your goals completed. Visualize your dreams coming true. Visualize you as the best version of yourself. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that taste like, smell like? What do you hear? What is that to you? So visualizing things. And again, it's not used to escape reality. You're not, denying what's actually real and in front of you. You're just saying, this is what I like to see happen, by the end of this day, or by the end of this moment, or whatever the case is. What would you like to visualize? And then when you set the intention, feel it. Feel what would it feel like for you to, get your degree? What would it feel like for you to get that new car, that new place? What will it feel like when that baby is born? What will it feel like when whatever your dilemma is over, or whatever the case is for you? Imagine how that's going to feel when those things happen for you. Like, really sit into that moment. Do you feel the joy? Do you feel the ease? Do you feel the lightheartedness? Do you feel yourself smiling? And before you brush it off and go, no, that's not going to happen, just sit with it. Just sit with it. How does that make you feel? And even if it feels so far-fetched or so far in the distant future, that's okay. You don't have to, put any parameters around it. Just feel it. Feel it out. See how it makes you feel. And, there's nothing wrong with feeling good. There's nothing wrong with actually feeling okay. So practicing feeling better, Other things to do when setting intentions would be to write down your intentions on paper. I intend to, get X amount of money by this time. I intend to see this happen at this moment, or whatever the case is. It's sky's the limit. Write down those intentions. And then also in conjunction with writing it down, also speaking it aloud, affirming, I will see this happen. I am going to do my best. I am going to do this. I am this. Writing down those intentions, speaking those intentions, and then affirming them out loud, like on a repeated basis, and being mindful of how it makes you feel to actually hear yourself say it, because that'll show you how close you are to the truth of that. If it feels impossible, then maybe take a step back and do baby steps till you find a word or a phrase that feels more aligned to where you are at and where you would like to go. And then finally, focusing on what things you're thinking. Are you thinking about the news? Are you thinking about the world and the media? Are you thinking about pain and suffering? Or are we choosing to purposely think thoughts of the world as we would like it to be, thinking about our loved ones with tenderness, thinking about people as their greatest versions of themselves, thinking about ourselves with compassion? What are we thinking about? And really focusing on that, think on these things that are lovely and true. And it doesn't have to be anyone else's truth or loveliness, but what makes us feel seen and heard and valued. Think about those things. If we're to reminisce, let's reminisce about times that we felt seen or appreciated, not pain and brokenness. Let's focus on the things that we want to see, So, I'm going to be talking more about the law of attraction. I hope that everyone is doing well, and that, yes, we may start attracting the light that we are. So I thank you all for listening. Please feel free to subscribe. Send this to your friends, loved one, whoever you think may benefit from it. And know that we have all that we need. We are all that we need. And stay safe, be well. Until next time.